Welcome back to Sam Mountain Ballistics. Today, I'm going to be jacking this car up, taking the wheels off of it. I'm going to be changing these control arms to a set of tubulars that I got because it needs lined up anyways, and I'd rather just make it handle better for the extra money because it's not that much extra really to just get new control arms, and will handle better and look better. And I'll go ahead and paint all this too before I get the motor back in it, and it's gonna be pretty cool. Alright, so I've already torn into it. I got my caliper off. I got the ball joints loose, the nuts. I'm gonna take the nuts completely off, tap them with a hammer here to knock the spindle loose, and then I'll just move the whole spindle and all that out of the way. Remove these and swap the old ones in, but not the springs out, not the shock, but I'm moving along. Alright, well, I got the spring out safely without having to use a compressor. I'm gonna probably call it good for the night. I'm gonna paint all this stuff eventually, not that crap because they're getting replaced for these, but I'm gonna just clean all this off, paint it, make it look pretty good, and then I'm gonna put it back together with all this new stuff. And I'm gonna clean up, all the old stuff too, because I ain't replacing it all, but I'll probably holler at y'all tomorrow. Alright, both old control arms are off. Now it's time to scrape all this grease off, and I'm gonna paint that spring, throw it back together with the new stuff. Well, I went ahead and pressure washed all this. That's undercoating, so don't worry about that. Now that might be a little grease back there, but that other stuff's undercoating. I could probably paint over this. I'm probably gonna scuff it up with a wire wheel after pressure washing and degreasing it. Just make it look better. Paint my calipers and all that black. I'm thinking about black. I could do white. So I went ahead and pressure washed the engine bay too and cleaned it back up. It's been painted probably about 4 or 5 years ago. It cleaned up pretty good. A few little chips so I can touch up and stuff if I wanted to. But it's just the engine bay, so it don't matter. But I'm gonna probably paint all this stuff through here that ain't painted, either black or white. I can't decide yet. The cars come factory white, and the backs of the fenders was white also. I mean, you can see that there, but the control arms was black, so I'm just gonna have to decide on that because I got some pretty good rust barricade paint. It's black. I got some silver too. I probably won't do that on this, but yeah, I could paint that black. Anything like my floor pans, I'll probably use silver because I mean, if you're gonna brush paint silver. But anyways, it's one step closer. I'll let this dry overnight and take this other wheel off and take it all apart, paint it all, and then should be ready to put it back together. Also, I'm gonna paint the cool springs and my cross member and stuff like that and order some new shocks because they don't return. So yeah, all right, well, it's taken me a bit to figure everything out. These are the control arms that I bought. They were supposed to be a direct bolt-on installation, and they were not. I could have made these work, but I had to take this out, and this is where I bolted my cross member for the transmission. So I just went ahead and bit the bullet and put that in there because I was just having all kinds of issues. And what sucks is if any of y'all are watching this, see this kit, you can use the uppers. The uppers are good. For stock Mustang too. I mean, it worked good. Them is for something that you swapped a Mustang to front end into because you don't have strut rods then. But they tell you that you might have to drill out a 5/8 hole, and I think these bolts are 7/16 from the factory. This is the factory bolts, so I had already drilled them out, but I looked up and had found a tube that is a correct outside and inside diameter for the bolt, and I went ahead and torqued it down, and it has no walk in it side to side, so that means that's good. My other option was to take and weld some washers into the cross member, but this is the easier way. See, the holes had to be drilled out a pretty good bit, the 5/8 for them to work, and that's way too much. I thought I'd screwed it up, but luckily it's a simple fix. All right, it is almost back together. I got my strut rods on there, sway bar bolted down. I gotta compress this spring put in there, and then I'm gonna take my spindle here. I'm gonna put the bottom ball joint on and tighten it up. take some of the pressure off, I think, or put some on it and put the tops on it. I hadn't figured that quite out yet, but it's almost time. And then I'm gonna take the rotors off, pack the bearings, put it all back together, and finish the other side too. I got everything back together, bought some drilled and slotted rotors and some new pads, put the wheels on it, and dropped it on the ground. So it's all back together, but it would have been a whole lot easier if I'd have known to just get this style lower control arm from Speedway. That's where I bought mine at. They're a little expensive, but I mean, they're worth it. And they bolt right in. They got a few different styles, like the coilover style, a few other ones. Some styles removed the strut rod, but I wanted to keep the factory strut rod. I think that helps the stability on these cars a lot. And that's done. Now I just gotta work on my transmission and get my headers and stuff ready and get my motor back in. I also went ahead and got me a new set of wheels. These are center lines. They're 14s. I'm not sure how wide the rims are, but I mean, these are pretty wide for the back. And I also bought a whole another car for the front clip because it was nice. And this one's a T-top. And I might take the V6 out of my other Cobra over here. I mean, that car's pretty rough. This one needs a little bit of loving, but it's a pretty good start. And I put the V6 and automatic in that, which that is a factory 4-cylinder car. And it has a little toothpick. I think it's a 7.5-inch rear end, but it's got a really good gear up under it. It has a 320 rear gear up under it. And that car had a 302 in it with a 4-speed, the 4-speed that I got from the dude. That's going in mine, come out of that car. So they had a hot rod, that's for sure. Well, I appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully I'll get this stuff tied up soon and some loose ends done and make some more progress on this car. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.